of sickness. Let's make them feel better. The Generation Euro program presenting our podcast about racism.
Hello everyone, welcome to our I'm Not Racist But podcast, and today I'm going to interview a friend of mine and she will answer some questions, but let's start with the introduction of herself.
Hi, my name is Sarah, and I live in Belgium. I was born here. My parents are Moroccan, so my mom was born in Morocco and my father was born here. The nature of racism, I think it started with colonization and slavery, when people with a darker skin tone were considered less than someone with a white skin tone. And I think today still we are suffering from those events. You know, we still have consequences, you know, that we're trying to deal with. So I guess that's where it originated. Nobody is born racist, I believe. I think people learn to be.
Do you feel discriminated sometimes? How do you feel about it?
When I think of this, I think of when I was maybe 6 or 7, when I didn't know any better. I didn't see, oh, this is white, this is black, this is this. I didn't think of it. That's why children don't think of this. But when I would be in the playground or in primary school, none of the white girls, like the majority, would play with me or would consider me a friend. And I would always think, why? Maybe I'm not fun enough or cool enough or whatever. Later on, I did realize, oh, yeah, maybe racism had to do something with that. So that, I mean, I did feel discriminated, but I didn't know what it was. And it made me feel sad, you know. Obviously, you think, like, why don't they like me?
What do you most want white people to know?
Is to just realize that there is a disparity. There is we're just asking for them to listen, you know, just to listen to the stories, because you see the world in a very specific way, but it's still your perspective. If you didn't experience racism, you will never know what it's like. So if you don't know what it's like, it's better to listen to people's stories that have gone through that, you know. And on the other hand, I would be like, yeah, just be an ally, you know, help us make this world more inclusive, you know what I mean? And this just doesn't go for just, you know, racism. This is about discrimination on all levels, sexuality, gender, religion, able or disabled. I mean, it's I think yeah, help us be more inclusive, because white people do have certain privileges that they're born with that other people don't, you know, certain access. Off the top of my head, like finding a job would be harder for someone with a last name like mine than it is for someone who has a white sounding name or a Belgian sounding name. it's or getting an apartment, or there are a lot of things that most people of color deal with that white people don't deal with on a day-to-day basis.
What comes in your mind when you hear others saying, "Go back to your country, you're black"?
First thing that comes to my mind was an experience, because this was said to me. It's so funny. It was in primary school. So it was this girl. It was like, "Why don't you just go back to Morocco?" I didn't know what that meant. Like, wait a minute. This isn't my country. I'm not Belgian. What do you say to that? Like, I thought this was my country because I was born here. And then I was like, well, you know what? Is it really up to her to define what is my country? At first I didn't realize that, you know. I was like, maybe I'll go back to my country, you know. But then I was like, you know what? I don't let other people define who you are, you know. You do that. Everybody defines it for themselves. So I do say, yes, I am a Belgian. I'm a proud Belgian. And that's it.
People discriminate or bully black people just because of their color. Why?
I think of this goes back to what I said about the origins, I guess, the colonization, and the fact that we are still dealing with the consequences of it in modern day society. So I think also a big part of it is education. I think I'll give you an example. When we were in school, when I was in school, I was not taught about the Belgian colonization of Congo. Congo is a country in Central Africa. It wasn't. When I got history, I learned about Europe, but I didn't learn what kind of things Leopold did in Congo, you know, what kind of horrendous activities that went on, torturing black people, Congolese people. I had to learn that on my own. So a big part of it is the books are very biased. It's very it's looked at from a European perspective instead of like Columbus. Columbus, when you look at it from a European perspective, oh, he is a world traveler, discoverer of world, you know, of the new world. But it's if you look at it from the perspective of the Native Americans, he was a colonizer, you know, and a rapist. So it's in the one story he's a hero, in the other story he's like a really bad guy, you know. So I think it's a lot to do with education, and people need to be informed about what actually happened, you know, historical accuracy.
What is the meaning of race for you? Aren't we all the same? Does the color means we are different?
We are all the same, but we're not treated the same way. And that's why we have to have these conversations about race. Because there needs to be an equality across the board. Everybody needs to have equal opportunity so that this kind of discrimination does not exist. I'm a guy who wants to start help fight racism. Where do I start? Just start, where you are, you don't have to start big, just start small, just in your day-to-day life. If you see something, say something. Um if you see it on the street, on the tram, speak up about it. Don't, um I think that's the most effective way. Everybody has Facebook these days, so you can share articles about racism, about certain topics that concern racism, just to raise awareness about it, that, okay, other people's perspective matter too, Um, yeah, that's it. You don't have to join an organ. I mean, you can join an organization or whatever, but you don't have to. You can just do what you can every day. Have I ever faced racism or seen a racist situation? What did I do? Well, like I said before, I did. My mother has been faced racism a lot, more than me, because I can sort of, I have the privilege of being born here, and knowing how to express myself in the Dutch language. My mom did not. My mom was born in Morocco, and she had to learn the language here. And she was ridiculed for her inability to express herself well, by coworkers, and I definitely see her get bullied, but I tried to do something about it, but she stopped me, as we all know, we try to protect our mothers, but our mothers protect us as well. So she didn't want me to get into any trouble. So she stopped me.
I'm a guy who wants to help fight racism. Where do I start?
Just start, where you are, you don't have to start big, just start small, just in your day-to-day life. If you see something, say something. Um if you see it on the street, on the tram, speak up about it. Don't, I think that's the most effective way. Everybody has Facebook these days, so you can share articles about racism, about certain topics that concern racism, just to raise awareness about it, that, okay, other people's perspective matter too, Um, yeah, that's it. You don't have to join an organ. I mean, you can join an organization or whatever, but you don't have to. You can just do what you can every day.
Have you ever faced racism? Or have you seen a racist situation? What did you do?
Well, like I said before, I did. My mother has been faced racism a lot, more than me, because I can sort of, I have the privilege of being born here, and knowing how to express myself in the Dutch language. My mom did not. My mom was born in Morocco, and she had to learn the language here. And she was ridiculed for her inability to express herself well, by coworkers, and I definitely see her get bullied, but I tried to do something about it, but she stopped me, as we all know, we try to protect our mothers, but our mothers protect us as well. So she didn't want me to get into any trouble. So she stopped me.
Have you ever been excluded just because of your origin?
I think I have, whether I know it or not, you know. I still remember the days in in primary school when that was a big problem. But as I've gotten older, I have that problem less and less. I just see it in other people. But the thing is also is I try to talk, like I try to go out there and make myself be known, so that if there is any friction, yeah, let's talk about it, you know. I've always like sort of profiled myself as a open person, as an open-minded person that welcomes any kind of discussion or conversation. I do want to mention in Belgium we do have race issues, absolutely. I have to say the fact that we have a racist party that actually promotes the fact that they're racist. They say it wholeheartedly. They say, yes, we are racist. And yes, they just say it like that. They're the most right-wing party, but they're the racist party basically. And then you have the kind of racist party, but they don't say we're racist. They're just very extreme right. So yeah, it's difficult times, but I would say, yeah, that's one of the main problems in this country, that we have a party that is openly racist. And 2 years ago, when there was Flemish elections, they won the elections. So, and that was really shocking, This is like 2 years after Trump got elected, So it's a weird time. So it's interesting. Yeah. So I would say things have gotten a bit better, but also a bit worse with time concerning racism, because there are a lot of people that try, a lot of friends of mine that are white and black. Everybody tries to do their best to have these conversations. I think we're having this conversation more than before, I feel like. So I'm very grateful for that, and also grateful for Manuel for having having this topic and asking people about their experiences. I had fun doing this. I hope I did answer all of the questions properly. And yeah, thank you so much. See ya. Bye.
Thank you very much to you, Sarah, for joining me and us in this podcast and helping us to answer some of questions. And thanks to everyone for listening, and stay tuned for the next episodes of our podcast.